Japa meditation. And as you know, in the subject, we said that it's about escaping to reality, and escaping to a deeper, higher reality. Actually, that's what's really involved. What we're really talking about, and this is going to be some theory and actual practice of what's involved here. And this is pretty rare. And it's actually timely. I really feel this is really timely. There's so many people that are affected by a reality in their lives that's it's been narrowed, and a reality of fear, anxiety, and unhappiness, deep unhappiness, a change in their routines and their schedules. Everything has been shaken up. So their reality is not a very happy one. A lot of people now are considering suicide in 2020 more so than ever. A lot of depression, a lot of domestic violence, so many things because of many of these occurrences that have happened in this last year here. Yeah. So anyway, this topic is escape to transcendental reality or spiritual reality. And so we need to talk about this because if anybody has ever entered into some of these deep states of what I call spiritual reality or eternal reality, it causes unusual symptoms in the person that is venturing into these deeper dimensions of existence or consciousness. Okay, so we're going to talk about some theory about this before we just go into an actual demonstration, and so that people can begin to understand this and not, recoil in fear, like because we've never seen this before, or it just needs an explanation. And this deeper reality is what we've heard that many saints have been able to access, and it's usually been very, very rare states of consciousness of this spiritual happiness that's eternal, immortal. Some people have called it salvation or mukti, liberation, becoming liberated of miseries and unhappiness. So anyway, this state now has been accessible for more of the common man, and there's certain reasons for that. We'll get into that maybe in another video. But for now, we'll just talk about some general symptoms of entering to these deeper levels of consciousness with some of the perks, some of the benefits. And one of the benefits is we start to realize who and what we really are. A lot of people that are in fear now because of the last year or any time, that if anybody is in fear and anxiety or fear of their life, it's just because they don't know who they are. Because deep inside, in the deeper level of understanding who we are, we're immortal, eternal persons. We're ever existing. See, and if we personally take an excursion into these deeper levels of consciousness, we start to realize that personally. And then their fear just disappears because of this connection. And community, you realize, well, I'm an eternal person. What do I have to fear? The body may live or die. We just, I may live, another 50 years or 10 years, or I may die tomorrow. That's a reality, but basically who cares, because I know who I am. I'm an eternal, immortal, spiritual person. Okay. So in theory, that's the theory of it. How would you like to actually experience that immortality? Okay? So anyway, this Japa chanting practice is a very easy and practical way. Hey, Aman, welcome. Thank you for coming. And Lance, thank you for coming. Is a very easy and natural way to deepen our consciousness to experience this truth. It's the deeper truth. If you consider life, progressive life is about an ever deepening understanding of who we are, and that should give us more happiness, just knowing that, and it does actually. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a verse here. This is from a person who was here 550 years ago, and these are some of his disciples and followers who wrote about how to enter into these deeper states of eternal or spiritual reality, where you feel this fearlessness, this deep sense of belonging here in this world, and understanding where our really true roots, where they really are beyond this bodily identification. Our true roots are actually spiritual. So anyway, 550 years ago, there was a rare person who appeared in this world called Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he left a legacy of those who were his followers, and they had deepened their own states of understanding who they are and entered into these spiritual realms of fearlessness and deep sense of love, and actually to the point of bliss. These different words, these words are not well known. Sometimes they're used, we may hear them, but people experiencing these deeper states of happiness with terms like bliss, rapture, ecstasy. Okay, this is the realm of truth of these persons who perfect this chanting process, and this is what we're going to teach here, is how to enter into these deeper states of reality and happiness, of knowing who we are and not being fearful. And so, okay, so we'll do this. So I'll pull up this verse. This is from a devotional scripture written 550 years ago and brought down in our lineage here. And it talks about the effect of this chanting process and meditation. When it becomes effective, the person starts to experiencing things like, when a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Okay, so that needs explanation. The holy name of the Lord is basically a name of what people call God, or a person that has come to this world and has exhibited symptoms of holiness, sacredness, something beyond the realm of this world. Something so pure that we can see it's from another place, another level of consciousness. See, so they call that holy or sacred. See, sacred. It's something that really purifies us deeply, very deeply. It invokes our natural love and devotion. And actually, that is our source. That actually does it. If we really connect with our source, we will understand what true sacredness or holiness is. Okay. So when a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, so this name can invoke this sacredness, this holiness, this devotional, pure feeling that gives us the realization of who and what we are, what our existence is all about. Okay, and these are the symptoms. There's such a great joy and spiritual intoxication, actually, which is without any side effects or anything. It's just a natural joyousness of the soul. He is agitated. Agitated means there's so much life and energy going through your body, so much joy. You can't even contain it. This is the natural state of the soul, is to be in this state of joy. And it's kind of a spiritual agitation, and it causes the body to want to, just run around, and just jump for joy, or dance, or sing, or many beautiful, wonderful symptoms. And loudly chants the holy names. He loudly chants because this is one of the symptoms. He also laughs or cries and becomes agitated and chants like a madman. Like when Jesus said, you must be born again to enter the kingdom of God. So this born again experience is a spiritual birth. It's just like when a baby is born into this world, it cries. So when we are experience this spiritual rebirth, which is this ascension in consciousness, these are the symptoms. There's a kind of a cosmic laughter sometimes. Actually, first symptom that usually comes is this crying. And this crying is not the kind of crying of this world. Anybody that we've been teaching here over the years that starts to experience this crying, it's a great joyous feeling, like a feeling of salvation and liberation. And it's a wonderful thing, and it cleanses our consciousness as part of the cleansing process. And that develops into states of shivering, laughing, laughing, as here it says, becomes agitated and chants like a madman. You just chanting, just without concerning for anybody or what they're thinking or anything. You transcend the mental platform into the state of bliss and ecstasy, which is really wonderful. It's so refreshing for the soul. I've been doing this for years, and I never get tired of it. It's just so wonderful. And I've been sharing this for many years, but in the last few years, people have been taking it seriously, and many of them are chanting in such great ecstatic states of happiness. It's just really wonderful to see. To see, and it's changed their lives in such a way that it even astonishes myself. I mean, it's like, wow, man, what wonderful fruit. Okay? He also laughs and cries and becomes agitated and chants like a madman. So chants like a madman is not a bad thing. See? This kind of just shows you the symptom. If you're in normal consciousness, say you're in normal consciousness and you've been affected by the world in 2020 and you're in fear and in this, you think, and you see somebody this, so excited and so happy and joyous, you think, and laughing or crying like this, you think, this person's a madman. It's not normal. Everybody should pretty much more or less be afraid, right? Especially, this thing is looming around here, this thing that's killing so many people that we don't see, of course. But anyway, this is the idea. So it seems like madness, but it's not real madness. This is our natural soul state. When we get in touch with our soul, and this chanting is a very practical way to do it, we start to experience these higher states, these deeper states of consciousness, these ecstatic, blissful states, really wonderful states. Okay? And not caring for outsiders. You're so happy. This is liberation. You're not thinking and looking around like, oh, what is this person thinking? You don't care. You're so happy in yourself, in your being. Is so in a joyous, wonderful, uncommon state of consciousness. Okay? And this you can dip in, especially once you get the hang of it, and you start chanting around people who are at that stage, and very soon you start to chant in such bliss and ecstasy more and more, and it progressively get there, and then you're no more free. You're free of fear. You feel nothing, and you're very bold and confident. All these things. There's so many perks to this. Matter of fact, I think I'll share a few things too. Yeah, you automatically you become bold, confident. Everything that you would try to develop, like independently. Like, I want to be a good speaker. I want to be a wealthy person. I want to do this. I want to have that. All these things. I want to be a nice person. I want see all these things that usually have to develop independently become very easily and automatically attained just through this chanting, this chanting process. And wealthy, what I mean by wealthy is you're wealthy in happiness. You're wealthy in good health. That is your wealth, your good health, and of realizing who you are. And that externally, you may or may not have anything, and it won't matter that much. It's like, well, the main thing is I know who I am and what I am. I'm an eternal, immortal person. And that's common to all of us. We just need to go into these deeper states of realization to realize just who we are. And it's a wonderful journey, and it's a journey that never ends, nor do we want it to end. Because it is so wonderful to be on this journey and to know more and more about who we are and what we are. Our relation with the world, with people, with the source that people call by different names, the Christ, God, Krishna, the Brahman, many, it is such a wonderful journey, and it's such a big, deep one that we'll never get bored. It'll be on forever. I mean, this is my personal experience so far in life here up to this point. Okay, so with no more further ado, we'll start chanting and try some practice and see if sometimes, it just depends. This state of consciousness, we may go into it, may not. It's all by grace of the source, whatever you want to call that source. It's the grace of that source, and so we just do this endeavor in chanting. And this chanting I do on these beads, that's another subject. I think I touched on this before, but you can just listen to this mantra, and when you get the hang of it, if you feel inspired, you can either just hear it, chant it over, and just see how it affects your consciousness, or chant this mantra too. It's a very simple mantra. It's a Hare Krishna mantra. I may add some other mantras in there, and these other mantras are the other names. Basically, these are the names of persons who appeared here that were very uncommon, and they had this knack for entering these very deep states of ecstatic consciousness. Okay? So they had this knack for it, and chanting their names, you tune to that level, even just through the meditation on their names, through chanting. And chanting is a very wonderful way to fix and focus our mind. And that's another one of the great things about this chanting, is this practice gets you really focused, and where your mind can become fixed and focused. Generally in this world, being fixed and focused now is very difficult, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One is the EMF waves in the atmosphere, especially in the cities. It has this tendency to get you unfocused. See, and this chanting can bring anything back, and it just helps you in all ways in your practical life also. Okay, so let's chant a little bit here. Here's the mantra. It goes like this. Just take a deep breath and relax. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, that's one full mantra. And then on these beads, I go to the next bead. If you would see inside the bag, I would go from this bead to the next bead like that. Okay, and then I'm just pushing till I go all the way around, which is 108 times, and that's called one round. Okay, one round of chanting. It's really wonderful. It's got a beautiful companion thing in the world here, this chanting. Yeah. So, so I'm chanting what? Hare Krishna. I'm sure some people are thinking, what does that mean? Hare Krishna. Hare is in the divine, there's something called the divine Leela. And in Vrindavan was a place many thousands of years ago, about 5,000 years to be almost exact. 5,000 years ago, there was two personalities, mainly named Radha and Krishna. And they were both these ecstatic personalities, and they were part of a village and of other ecstatic personalities. And they actually came to this planet to share to begin to share this reality, this deeper reality of existence for mankind. They began it. They didn't spread it widely. This reality of this chanting, this reality of very deep state of consciousness where there's this laughing and crying and choking up when you're in relationship with these spiritual personalities. Okay, so that's another story. We'll get into that another time. Yeah. So anyway, they began to make it more clear that this is something really special. And then just 550 years ago, somebody related to those personalities, Radha and Krishna, they were called. So Hare means Radha. This is just another name for Radha. and Krishna is a name for Krishna. So Hare Krishna is chanting both of their names. See, and there's these chanting both of these names. It's the mantra goes basically most of those names, Hare and Krishna, and then there's Rama, Rama. So this Rama, Rama is quite interesting. This is their union. So they're right now they're like dancing. You know, just like when you're doing a dance, you have a partner and you're dancing together. Okay, so spiritually, there's a dance also between the soul and the source and the supreme soul, known by different names, many names. Okay? There's a dance, a relationship. See, so Radha and Krishna are dancing in the mantra even. So this mantra, there's a spiritual truth. This mantra is no different than those persons. This is a spiritual truth. Just like in the universe, universal metaphysics, they talk about metaphysical law. Well, there's a spiritual law even above that, but also related to everything. Okay? Spiritual law is, by chanting these mantras, it's no different than if we were there 5,000 years ago meeting these ecstatic spiritual persons. Okay? Ecstatic spiritual persons. And when we advance in this chanting, you will feel that. You'll feel this relationship. You'll feel basically the ecstasy and the spiritual happiness that they felt. You'll feel it now in 2020. Okay? It's a great thing. That's why they appeared in this world, to advance spiritual consciousness of mankind. Okay? Now that was the beginning, but it wasn't widely spread. Then 4,500 years later, another ecstatic personality came related to those two, okay, and came and made it more clear, this chanting, and started to just spread it widespread in the world, and many millions were chanting, also in ecstasy and these deeper levels of consciousness. And 550 years later, we're still continuing this on here, this chanting process. And people have been coming here to our chanting sessions in the last 3.5 years now. And it's just amazing to see their spiritual transformation and how happy many of them are. It's just, just amazing. So anyway, all these things you can see. If you're interested, you can come and visit every day on Facebook Live. We have live and replays of this chanting together, ecstatic chanting. You can see that. Also, there are classes and talks about these ecstatic personalities who appeared in this world. Yeah, so we have all that kind of stuff going on. So here's my water. Okay, back to the chanting. So we may not chant so much. This was obviously some theoretical introduction to this chanting, which is very important. So because this chanting is so uncommon and intense and wonderful that some people are, well, what is this all about? So introduction is important. Okay, let's try a little bit of this here. So we'll chant more, practice in another video, but this will help people progress in this understanding. Okay. Oh, and Rama. Okay, so the name Rama. Rama is this union between Radha and Krishna, these ecstatic personalities. They're spiritual beings. Okay? And this union is not like a material sex union. It's a spiritual union. And it has an ecstasy to it, just like sexual encounters cause like an orgasm. And it's very wonderful between especially married couples and who love each other and all this. Well, spiritually, there's also this union between our soul and that source, and it causes an ecstasy. But this is extremely, amazingly wonderful beyond the material, sexual, sensual act. This is spiritually, this is actually the awakening between our soul and our source. And this is an eternal relationship. Okay? So very wonderful. So Rama represents that. The representing Radha and Krishna, Rama. Madhava is another name for Krishna. So Rama is Radha Madhava. That's those syllables. The Radha is in Ra. See, and Madhava is in, or Ma is in Madhava. And Madhava is another name for Krishna. See, so Rama is this very intimate union. See, so that's in the mantra too. And that's, you know, when our soul is in union with the Lord, it experiences this wonderful union, spiritual union. And there's nothing like it. It is, other than to point to it. It's eternal. See, sex in the world and marriage and all that is temporary while we're here in the body. But this is our spirit soul's relationship with the source, and that's eternal, and that's why it's wonderful. It's like Jesus taught a spiritual principle. I'm not into religion, but I'm into spiritual principles. Okay? So he's taught a spiritual principle. What you bind on earth, you bind in spirit. So if we can bind this relationship in this world, then when we pass from this body, you realize who we are, and this relationship goes with us. We've actually taken something that we can take with us, is this eternal relationship. And so there's many other things about this, you know, freedom from birth and death because of it, the cycle of samsara, that kind of thing. You know, when you can make this spiritual union. Okay? So anyway, that's another subject. We can talk a lot about that too another time. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm going to just let it flow. If there are any symptoms, they're going to look odd. So don't be thrown back, but that's just the reality. And it's very wonderful. There's nothing bad about it. So I just want to sort of give everybody a friendly warning that something could happen. Doesn't necessarily say so. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The laughter comes. I'll describe it a little bit, you know, as it's happening. If it happens, I'll describe it because it might help people get coming. I mean, this is so outrageously wonderful that people can't believe it or they don't understand it. So, you know, I'm trying to be as careful as I can in explaining all this stuff here. Okay, let's take this down too. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So as you advance in chanting, you start to feel these very deep, wonderful feelings. They kind of come, they well up, you know, like well up into tears or some ecstatic laughter or shaking and, you know, want to jump around and all kinds of amazing things. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, and they put, and see, even your face lifts up. I can feel it already. You know, the smile starts to come up. See, everything is coming up. This is like, you know, when God's energy just welling up. It's just coming up, and it's eternal and wonderful, and your consciousness just goes deeper and is raised and expanded, just so naturally, just from this chanting. It's amazing. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. See, this is natural, just coming up naturally. I'm not trying to do this. It's just welling up, you know, spontaneous. This is called spontaneous expression of the soul. You know, this is spontaneous, very spontaneous. Krishna, Krishna. I mean, I'm not like saying I'm good. I'm going to do this. It just starts happening. You start chanting. And as you do this in practice, and especially in this association with these persons, these things just start to happen. You know, a lot of my students are experiencing stuff like this, and students and friends. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I feel it in the heart and the throat. It's like going up a tube up here, you know. and it's coming out into this, just, and I don't know where it's going. Just don't know. And it doesn't matter. It's really one to just let it happen, man. Just, it's like surrender into this blissful, wonderful state. It's like jumping in. I mean, I'm into God, I mean, I like that term. For me, it's wonderful. But I'm not into religion, but I'm into God. I'm into Jesus Christ as a spiritual being. I'm into Krishna as a spiritual, ecstatic being. Or Shiva or Ram, all these persons I feel is part of the family, family of spiritual persons, and I feel I belong there, That's as crazy as it sounds, but that's just my reality. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So one of the first symptoms of, one of the symptoms of this chanting is this: you may start to smile in a way that you've never seen anybody smile. It's like very different. It's like a smiling from the heart, from deep in the heart, the core of the heart, from the soul. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. It's all spontaneous. You can't concoct it. It just comes, wells up. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. I just got this idea. What I'm going to do? I'm going to show one of my students here also a video of her. Let's see. Yeah, it will show you some of her chanting here, which is amazing. And it's very different, so buckle your seatbelt because you're going to see something pretty amazing, very different. All right, let's see here. Oh, here we do. So I didn't have this already because this is again spontaneous too. I'm just going to okay, I'm just going to see if I can find stuff here. I've never done this with the Facebook thing. Okay, you know what? I think I'll just have to pull it up in a different way here. Her name is Lalita Ganga. So I'll just pull up one of her videos here and see how it works here.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Yeah, this is, I think, a pretty good one here. Okay, so see, how do I do this? Okay, stop sharing that. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
It's circling a little bit here. But you can see the very divine expression on her face from her chanting. she's got some very wonderful grace to be able to chant like this. Okay, why is this circling? It's because my internet connection is not so good. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll wait for it to I'll chant myself until it it catches up. And then we'll play it. So when it catches up, it should play. It's drawing my internet connection here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Like Aman says, one of the other benefits, the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, who brought this chanting to America and the world, actually, is our very existence will become purified. Yeah, and that's so true. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. And all you have to do is just pay it. It's like this meditation. All you have to do is pay attention to the chanting. That's it. No artificial thing with your mind. You just pay attention. You just listen to the sound vibration. Okay? And if you come and associate and you hear from these persons who are at the stage of ecstatic chanting, it becomes very likable. You like to hear your own voice. I've heard this, some of my students have said this. They actually like to chant. They just really love this sound now. And they came from the point of not liking to chant. They didn't like to hear their own sound vibration, but just by being around people who love this chanting and ecstasy, they're purified, So this is another reason to chant with such persons. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So not only is the meditation nice, but even the sound vibration you just like to hear. It's like it becomes it puts you in a spiritual trance. Actually, it's so really wonderful. You become like really happy just hearing that sound vibration. It's the cause of great happiness because theologically or theoretically, the theory about that is, which becomes a real reality, is you're entering this higher state of consciousness. Okay? And it feels really good. With the sound vibration is like a pathway. It brings you into that. And the sound, and when you become really attracted to the sound, your consciousness goes and enters deeper and deeper into this. It's just a really wonderful, and then you develop a knack, like my spiritual mentor and spiritual teacher and master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, said it's like becoming a ducking swan in this bliss. You go in and out and in and out, and this is when you develop this ability by practice, then it's yours forever. Your life becomes one of a happy state of consciousness forever, and it just ever increases. You just become very peaceful. If you're looking for peace, peace is there. Spiritual happiness is there, and this is yours now forever. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Let's see if this is working now. So we'll show you some of Lalita Ganga's chanting. She's only been chanting like this for a few years now. I mean, she chanted before, but it was more dry, but now she's got this knack here. So let's see here. Let's start this video and see if it works. No. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Still not working. Okay, so what I probably have to do is take it down again. And let's put it back up again. Sometimes it's like that. I'll refresh the video here.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare.
See if this works.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.
See the divine look, like a very deep sense of happiness. This is unusual. You don't see this in just anybody. This is because consciousness being raised to a very deep level.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No. Vishnu Padaya.
So this is a little demonstration. This is a spiritual happiness. And she's been chanting for a few years now, and her chanting is getting better than mine. So it's amazing. And she's very happy. And so that's really the proof that it's not something really weird or strange. It's actually really wonderful to enter these states, because you start to, you lose this fearful approach to life, afraid of life and afraid of death and all this stuff, because this is natural to the soul, is to be ecstatic like this. And it's great for confidence about life, and you become carefree about everything. And even in the most difficult circumstances, like, it is what it is. And yeah, so this is a wonderful, wonderful meditation. It's something very practical, because a lot of people have trouble meditating, by sitting still and trying to control the mind. This controls the mind naturally by attraction. You become very attracted to this chanting. You just like want to do it, and it's like becomes like a great ally in your life. It's like, wow, this chanting is almost like a friend, like a dear. Oh, like I just pick up the mantra and start chanting, and your consciousness is cleansed and elevated, and you feel like this at one with the universe and with the Lord, or with God, you just, or your source, whatever you want to call that that higher self that we're all connected to. We're all connected to it, and when we connect back to this again, fearlessness manifests, great spiritual happiness manifests. And if you're into this idea about samsara that's taught by Buddhism and Hinduism, you're free from the cycle of birth and death, because now you're joined with your eternal self. And that's what life is really all about. That's where real happiness is to make this joining. So chanting, japa, meditation is a very practical, nice way to do it. Very easy. Yeah. Okay, so we'll chant a little bit more while we're at it here, and see what happens. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, I don't want to make this video so long. So this is a theory of it, and the next video will just jump right into the chanting, and just let it go. Just let out all the stops. Just whatever spontaneously happens in this chanting session, we'll just let it manifest. So we'll just leave this as more of an instruction and the theory of it. Theoretical thing, and then later on we'll do another video, because it's already like almost 50 minutes. Okay, thank you very much, and have an awesome day, and we'll see you back here later.